In this respect, I am fully committed to keying into the foreign policy thrust of this government. The president has actually made things much, much easier by building the foreign policy thrust of his administration on the 4Ds, which comprise of democracy, strengthening democratic institutions all over Africa, principally. Of course, development, leveraging on the African continental free trade area to encourage and harness our economic potentials. And of course, looking at the demography, we have a huge youth population. In Nigeria, 70% of the youth of the population are under the age of 43. So that's a huge demographic. We intend in this administration to leverage on the creative potentials, on the skills, on the huge capital that these young people have to bring to the country. And of course, the most important, the diaspora. We have a diaspora that remits annually 22 billion. We have a diaspora that is doing so well all over the world. And if we can partner with them and ensure that we bring them into the administrative initiatives and use them also to forge strategic partnerships with financial institutions all over the world, that would in no small way enhance the workings and the service delivery for the foreign ministry. And of course, ensuring that consular services abroad are much more effective and our citizens abroad are much happier with what they are receiving and get that sense that their government truly cares for their welfare.
Well, basically, as you correctly said, for about the last 9 years, I've been working on business climate reforms. This is a new assignment. Mr. President has specifically said the trade agenda, the investment agenda, and you know there's also a Minister of State working on industry. The most important thing with the trade agreement is to make sure that we go after optimizing the AfCFTA for Nigerian businesses, which means pragmatically supporting them at this time to export their products. With the investment agenda, it's really important that we retain domestic investment and aggressively attract new investment. That means tracking all the investments Mr. President, as Chief Investment Officer of this economy, has gone after in the last 17 months, and making sure that the businesses, we've already started engaging them with our previous business champions, the businesses at the higher level and at the medium level and at the micro level, that each of them at those specific cadres are optimized to make it progressively easier. We need productive jobs, and what that means is that we don't just want any jobs. We're looking for jobs that deliver value for Nigerians. In the area of services, we're competitive. Nigerian youth are extremely competitive in the tech sector. In outsourcing, you would know Outsource Global and the initiative with the Office of the Vice President. Those are the kinds of interventions that will continue to further to deliver a vibrant economy. I think the last point I'll make is that there's a significant imperative to make sure that the trade agenda is synced with monetary and fiscal policies, and those are the things that we'll be prioritizing in the short term.
We've just been sworn in, and immediately after now, we'll sit down with the Madam Minister of Agriculture and Food Security to get properly onboarded through the handing over, as well as also looking at the extensive work that has been done by the Professor Tahiru Jega Committee on the Presidential Committee on the Implementation of Livestock Reforms. From there, we look at the lower hanging fruits, and then we begin to get into the field and implement those recommendations. I want to say up front that already The newly created Ministry of Livestock Development has done a lot of data mining in terms of getting the infrastructure that is directly related to livestock in terms of the number of grazing reserves across the country, the number of cattle routes, as well as available dams and other water sources, from where we do hope to improve on the conditions of those infrastructure to make them very, very attractive for the herders to remain in one place. We are doing this because our belief in the ministry is that what you cannot measure, you cannot change. And that does not only affect the large ruminants, that will also affect small ruminants in terms of sheep and goats, as well as pigs, as well as poultry, and all other farmable, edible animals. We are going to put all of them on the same plate and make sure that we migrate them from where they are into properly unbundling that sector to ensure, one, sufficient and adequate food and nutrition for the country, safe operating environment for all the stakeholders in the country, as well as making the sector very, very attractive for foreign direct investment.
Thank you very much.